second grade was when I stopped believing. My dad told me that there was a Santa Claus, and I wanted to kill him. But it's like that wasn't true. I think because I was realizing it wasn't, because there was an older girl my mom used to keep that kept telling us like there isn't a Santa Claus or something like that, and I'm thinking like, wait a minute, you got a sister who's like, she was like what, 3 years younger than me. So I'm like, why are you saying this in front of your sister? Like, she still believes.
Fuck her too.
And yeah, I'm like, didn't your parents tell you to not say that? I think they did too.
Yeah,
I think they did.
That's probably why she did. She was like, my parents are trying to tell me not to do this. I'm going to tell her. Fuck them.
It's like, there is no Santa Claus. And I was like, there is a Santa Claus. I remember we used to yell, there is a Santa Claus. And stuff like that. And then I told my dad, and like, there is a Santa Claus, right? He said, Dominic. He said, nah, Dominic, this not a Santa Claus, Dominic. And I think I was around 9.
Yeah.
I think you're around 9 years old in second grade. Okay, 7 years old, 8 or 9. I forget. I don't know the ages. That's not the years for me. Well, I guess I could do math. Okay.
7, 92. It looks like, is what you would be. 7 to 8 would be second grade. Yeah.
Okay. So around 8 years old then. Close to 8 years old.
Yeah. And that's what it looks like on Google. People are saying is like around 8 is when kids, like 25% of kids still believe. But like,
so maybe
7.
third grade. So maybe third grade then. So, well, yeah, whenever I was 8, because I didn't probably be 8 until the May of second grade. So probably third grade. I didn't believe in Santa. But I also wasn't a dick either. Like, I didn't tell kids. I just didn't care. I mean, it wasn't like I felt bad. I just didn't say it. I just said it around people who already knew. Like, hey, there's a Santa Claus. It's just our parents buying us gifts. And I was like, okay, so now I really know why I didn't get a puppy. It was like, it wasn't Santa's fault. It's my parents' fault. It was their fault.
Yeah. I mean, it was always going to be their fault, Dominic. I mean, Santa asks first with pets. He's like, hey, is Dominic all right, ready for a pet? And they're like, no, he's not. And they're like, okay, I'm not going to bring him one. Santa's respectful.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, usually 10 and 12. Come on, man, you got to stop that.
Yeah.
It's nice, but you know, at some point, it's okay. Like, you got to destroy the illusion. Destroy it. Because now they're going to get, because if they still believe it in that age, I'm curious, they might get really angry. and do something bad. It's like, everything's a lie. Everything's a lie.
Hello, gamers, and welcome to episode 310 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Man, I want to start it off congratulating Harry Stokes. He's the guy who's provided all the music, all our original music, really, on this podcast. And congratulate him on his engagement to Morgan Ray. He proposed to her on Christmas.
That's
so I'd like to congratulate the happy couple, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, been friends with him since freshman year of high school. So I've known him for a long time. So yeah, happy, really happy for him. Really happy for him.
Definitely.
All right. And I guess we can speak on it. Hey, this is the post-Christmas podcast. We're recording the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, I believe it is, and the Canadians call it. Yeah. I'm guessing we talked about this before. What's the Boxing Day meaning? You know, I want to look it up. What's the Boxing Day
They just
meaning?
go out in the street and start fighting each other.
Yeah, I see
it's
a boxing
the one day
glove
of the
with like
year
Santa.
where Canadians get to be mean.
The name comes from the time when the rich used to box up gifts to give to the poor. Boxing Day was traditionally a day off for servants, and the day when they received a special Christmas box from their masters, because they had to work on Christmas. The servants will also go home on Boxing Day to give Christmas boxes to their families.
Now, instead, it's like, we're going to take the Christmas boxes away from you.
Exactly. So, like, how was your Christmas, man? Was Christmas great? Yeah, it was good, man. That's
Christmas
good, man.
Eve, we did the kind of normal thing, family gift exchange stuff. And then Christmas Day, we just spent, me and my wife and the kid, just opening her presents that we got her, because she got to open the family presents the night before. And boy, she was up until like 11 o'clock, which is way past her bedtime. Usually she goes down around 9:30 or so.
Oh, okay.
But she was showing no signs of stopping until we were finally like, okay, we got to leave, packed her up in the car seat. And then, of course, on the drive home, she fell asleep and she stayed asleep all night. But
did she rip the present open?
She kind of can. Mostly she just wants to put it in her mouth, and then she ends up like trying to bite it, kind of, and it doesn't work out well.
That's just the way she does it. That's the way I open it. I use my mouth. It's like,
Well, you also probably have more teeth than Dominic. She's only got like 2 and 1 coming in, so it doesn't work as well for her. But yeah, and then like some of the things were like tissue paper in a bag, so she could pull that out, and she was good at that. So she had a grand old time, and it was nice, staying home yesterday. I put A Christmas Story on TNT when I woke up in the morning and just let that play in the background for a little bit until my wife got up and we opened presents.
The Drew Carey child story.
The Drew Carey child story.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, it's in Cleveland.
In fact rock, Dominic.
It's in Cleveland too. Come on,
Yep.
That's Drew Carey. That's Drew Carey.
How about you? How was your Christmas?
My Christmas is all right. It was all right Christmas. I didn't really do much. Fixed breakfast. Help with the cooking a bit, as in I read the directions from my mom. Then it was just a small Christmas, because actually my sister, she went to Florida for Christmas. So when she comes back to get her stuff, because she left from here, we're gonna have to, like my mom said, she's going to have to stay outside of she's going to have to stay in the living room, because she said, you're not giving us COVID or anything, so she's going to wipe down anything she touches or anything like that.
Better safe
I
than
just
sorry.
say, we just drop everything outside. Just put everything outside and just let her go. That's all you have to do. But anyway,
see yourself out.
Yeah. But yeah, but it was nice. Also, I watched some movies. The big movies that we were talking about, what we were watching. I get to that, and had a nice dinner. So yeah, it was nice. I enjoyed it. Talked to some family and things of that nature. But yeah, it was pretty good. What else? But did you hear about the explosion in Nashville?
I saw a little bit about that yesterday.
Well, apparently there was
crazy.
First there was a RV that someone said was coming down, and it was announcing something. I guess it has like a bullhorn. I don't know, something on it, like please evacuate, like your homes and stuff like that. Please evacuate and blah blah blah, that nature. And then the police came, got people doors to get out. Because I guess they must have got a call, or somebody called them. Somebody called them. They heard gunshots. The first people said they heard gunshots. Now I don't even know if there. I'm sure they heard it, but I don't know if that was from like the sound or it was actually really gunshots, like from the speakers or something or whatever. Who was saying "please evacuate" or whatever. I don't know, because people said they heard gunshots. People left, but then they heard a timer, on this RV, or car, or whatever, that said it will a timer was going down, saying 15 minutes, and I think explosion or something would happen. I don't know the exact word to say, but they said it was like a countdown, 15 minutes. They said 14 minutes, and people started backing away, leaving the area. But then I guess something didn't come off. The woman said she was coming back. Her family was driving back. And then while they were coming back, they saw the explosion. Oh, wow. I believe 3 people got injured. They did say they saw, looks like it could be a remains of a person, but they don't know if that was a person who was already dead or anything. Because right now, I see no deaths. I just see 3 people injured. So just the remains, I don't know if that's from what was already there. You know what I mean? Maybe it was in the car or something. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it really shattered windows, stuff like that. It was like huge explosions. A huge explosion. And I just want to know, what the hell was this about? Like, what was, like, a car bomb? Like what was the, was this just like a terrorist, like not terrorist, I mean, like a terrorist act or something? Or
yeah.
What was this? Like, what was this?
Why did why'd this happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what was the intention?
Like, what was the goal?
It?
Yeah. What was the goal of this? But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that there wasn't a lot of people who got killed, or as of right now, like I said, I see no deaths. And what about those remains or something? What was that? But yeah, that is crazy. That happened on, I believe, like Christmas Eve or Christmas morning, early morning, I believe it was. So that was sad for that part of town. But I'm glad they're safe. But that was like the biggest story I saw yesterday, and I saw that actually later because I was finally looking at the news at night, and I was like, "Holy shit!" To say, "Darn, that shit happened." But yeah, that was right. Yeah, that was the worst news I heard of the day. Oh, also the house killing the $2,000 stimulus check. That was sad news too. But anyway, yesterday it was a sports day. As you know, every Christmas is like NBA day. They have a whole bunch of NBA games. I watched a little bit of. I never watched the whole game. I watched bits and pieces of it. I didn't watch the big one, which was the Lakers versus the Dallas Mavericks, because I was watching Wonder Woman at the time of that game, so I didn't care about watching it.
I was watching Wonder Man, Dominic. LeBron James.
The Wonder Man. Oh, okay. But yeah, I didn't want LeBron ruin my Christmas, so I was like, I ain't gonna watch this. I watched some of Brooklyn and Celtics, which was a good game, but it ended up being a blowout. The Brooklyn Nets, they have Durant and Kyrie Irving up there, so they're both healthy now. So they have been dominating. They won their first game, which was Tuesday, because the NBA just started on Tuesday. They played against Golden State, blew them out, and they just blew out the Boston Celtics. So so far they're looking good. I'm curious. Are they going to be the big bad in the East between them and Milwaukee? I don't know who won the other games. Because like I said, I only saw bits and pieces. I have no idea. There was one late game on the Clippers versus the Nuggets. That was like the late 10 o'clock game. I was on my stat, but I got tired, man. I mean, that tryptophan got me, man. But anyway, there was a football game also. It was the Vikings versus the Saints. Saints beat them.
Oh, okay.
So I think that knocks, I want to say that knocks Vikings out the playoff run now.
Ooh.
But yeah, the Saints beat them. I think, does that win guarantee the Saints home field? I mean, like the division? I think it does. I'm not sure, but right now they're still leading the division, and they might have clinched it with that win. And the Vikings might be just out the playoffs now. Like, they can't make the playoffs. But we still got some games today, too, Saturday. You got some football games. There's 3 of them. I don't know who's playing. I know it's not the Reds, being the Washington team. I'm sorry. I believe they're playing Sunday. I'll probably look at them later on, possibly. But yeah, it's sports weekend, man. Sports weekend and Christmas weekend. I mean, for me, it's sports weekend. But it's Christmas weekend, too, used to say. I mean, it's about giving. So please give me Washington football win. That's what I want. I want to give me that. So I guess we get right down to it, man. We get down to what we've been watching. So I see you on the HBO. Well, actually, no. I guess we start with mine first, because since I saw everything you saw.
Okay.
Well, technically, you probably saw what I saw too, because I'm just
at some point in my life, yes.
Yeah. So I watched like a couple of Simpsons Christmas specials. I watched the first one, of course, which is like the first episode of Simpsons, which is funny that the Christmas episode is the first episode of Simpsons, but it was just the first broadcast episode.
Right. Because
I always wondered as a kid, like, why does the Christmas special, which is the first episode, looks better than the season premiere in a lot of those shows?
Yeah. And
that's because they did those shows first. But since it aired on their Christmas, they put this Christmas special on first. So That's why that looks better than when you
They didn't
go
care
to
about continuity,
episode 2.
Dominic.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I was always wondering, it's like, yo, the animation looks a lot better on this Christmas special than it does on during the season 1, episode 2, and like 3 and 4, and probably probably all of season 13. I mean, season 1 it's like 13 episodes, including the Christmas one. Maybe that was the last one done. I have to look that up. That probably was the last. I wouldn't be surprised if that was like the last one done after they done those. But anyway, I watched that one. Reliving memories. I watched it like a billion times. Also, I watched the Christmas special with The Simpsons when Bart steals the video game. That was kind of like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
What was it? Blood.
Not Bloodsport.
What is it called? It's called
Bloodstorm, right?
Bloodstorm,
Bone
yeah,
Storm.
Bloodstorm, yeah. And how it's so awesome. So even when you enter your name, it's so awesome. And he put Thrill House. So it was like Thrill Hole or something. Thrill Mode, whatever the hell. He couldn't even fit it in there. But anyway, yeah, that was I like that one. And then I watched the one where Bart destroyed the Christmas tree by accident because he woke up early to open his Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
And which is funny. It's like, yeah, that house is different. Thing is, my parents, they didn't go back to bed. I mean, at least one of them, like somebody was downstairs. I couldn't sneak downstairs to open gifts. Somebody would have heard me. It's like, hey, he's not ready yet. You can't do it. I also watched Bob's Burgers. What was it? Was this the first one? I'm not sure. It was the one with the mannequin man. It was a guy who said he used to be a mannequin. He was living in his uncle's storage, in Bob's uncle's storage room. Like he got it in the will because his uncle died, and the guy was staying there because his uncle was letting him stay there, and so Bob let him stay in his place in his basement. And what he did was stay in the window of the shop like a mannequin, and it'd be like a Christmas setup. But it brought in customers, so Bob let him do it. And he even said, I used to be a mannequin, and he used to have a wife who was a mannequin. But he came back, he came to life. He was put in that storage room because he was a mannequin, and he came to life. It's all like that. So Bob was like, oh, okay. So I was like, yeah, this is good that I just let you come in my house and stay down. I think it's a crazy man. So then the kids wanted to get his old man, find his wife, his mannequin wife, and she was at a sex shop. So they had to go steal her from the sex shop to give it to him and everything. So it was a Merry Christmas. And it got a little weird when he started kissing her. Anyways,
oh God.
What else I see? Oh, King of the Hill. I watched a couple of King of the Hill Christmas specials. I watched the first one, which was him seeing his mom have sex in the kitchen and making him go blind.
Yeah.
And the second one I watched was the one with Jimmy Carter, and he was building these homes because Jimmy Carter had this program building homes and stuff like that.
Yeah, he works with Habitat for Humanity, right?
Yeah, he thought he was Jesus Christ because JC. But his father was kind of jealous of him because he was always fond of his manager, Hank Hill, and his manager had promoted him, and then Hank Hill got so emotional, and he said he loved him, and then it was very awkward. Everybody was so shocked, like, oh. And Hank, yep. And I don't know if he's still a manager. I think his manager, his boss got maybe he got triggered by that. He didn't like they don't like men should not have emotions. And as well, men are just stern and whatever. Or they get angry. They get angry. They don't show love. You're not supposed to show love. Unless it's like a love of football or something like that. But yeah, that was funny. And yeah, that's all I watched except for the two things you watched here. So you finally got HBO Max. Well, at least you got the trial version of HBO Max. So how you enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, I signed up for a month. They unfortunately don't offer trials anymore. Of course, they announced that as soon as they they decided they were going to put every movie on there. They were like, we're going to do the Disney thing because they did that when they got Hamilton on there. They canceled all the free trial stuff. HBO Max, I believe you can get a free trial for a week if you're a Hulu subscriber.
Interesting.
But I don't have that either. So yeah, I signed up for a month. $15 doesn't seem too bad to watch Wonder Woman. You would be paying like $30 at least if you went to the movie theater to see it anyway. And then it was like I was telling you, as soon as I signed up for it, because I had some time, I signed up a little bit earlier in the morning, and the movie didn't actually show up until 12 o'clock. So I was just kind of going through the catalog, and I found a ton of stuff to add to my queue to try and watch before the month is up, because they've got a ton of movies on there I'd like to see. They, of course, have a wide variety of shows. They've got all like the Cartoon Network, Adult Swim stuff on there.
DC.
Yeah, so there's some of the DC stuff I added on there too. Especially like the cartoon movies and stuff.
DC hater. Okay.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I'm not really interested in watching any of the recent DC universe movies, but like the cartoon ones, and like the Harley Quinn show, I'm interested in watching that cartoon.
You need to watch that, man.
The Birds of Prey movie, I'm going to give a shot to. So
I don't care if you do that, though.
There's definitely some stuff on there I want to watch. But I did Silicon Valley, that final season I never ended up watching because we had canceled our HBO Now or whatever it was called at the time subscription, like right around the time that started, because we were finished with Game of Thrones. Yeah, so I started watching that season, watched like the first 3 episodes. It's still as good as I remember it. Still enjoying that a lot. Nothing really to talk about, I guess. It was interesting. I guess so far the plot has been basically that one of the guys, the game developer that Richard had brought on and kind of saved the company, it turns out that despite all the rah-rah, we're not going to use your data. He's been using data, taking people's data to optimize the game, and then seemingly in one of the second or third episode, they find out that he's using it to serve up ads. So they took like the voice recognition that he was using, and then Richard created a program in addition to that to almost like blackmail him, and that kind of turned on his face, and he started using that to serve up ads. So they're like, oh, I would love some Domino's pizza. And then you turn around in the video game and there's a Domino's there to offer you up some digital pizza. Yeah, so that stuff's really good. I'm enjoying that. I like the bit with Guilfoyle creating an AI to respond to Dinesh. And he's like, wait a second. Like he slowly realizes that his like Guilfoyle's making coffee, and he's still responding to him. And then he's like, I need an AI Dinesh to respond to, what's the dude's name? Like Gabe or something like that?
Yeah, the guy the weird dude who has that pants chair, whatever. Yes. Like he can walk and sit down.
He's like, can you send me the latest specs for the thing? He's like, I already sent it to you. He's like, I don't want to search for my email. It's like, all right. He's like, I'll wait. And then he just plops down and he's got legs extending from his butt as a chick. Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Basically what you would envision, like the most stereotypical annoying gamer developer guy you could possibly think of. Yeah, so I'm still having a lot of fun with that show. That show's really good. Yeah, and then other than that, it's just been basically the top movies of the Christmas release, Dominic. So which one do you want to talk about first, Wonder Woman or Soul?
Let's talk about Soul first. All
right. Yeah, Soul, I had a kind of a slow start. We watched this later in the evening. We watched Wonder Woman first and then watched this later after dinner. It has kind of a slow start to it.
Why do you say that? I don't get slow. So you like, because I like the start with him being
that part I like the very beginning where he's in the real world. Yeah, it really is when he gets into the other dimension or the afterlife or the before life or whatever.
I mean, it's still it's technically still the beginning, but I wouldn't call this I don't know. I want to call it the start though. I mean, that's why I was confused when you said the start.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you thought that I liked it with him, like with the jazz and the school and that nature. And
I thought we would revisit the school. I was a little surprised. I guess that's a little spoilery, but I thought we would get back there in some form or fashion by the end of the movie.
I will say that this is like to see these different, like for me, to see these different black people in a Pixar movie. Like the most I ever seen was like Frozone or whatever, and Incredibles. I mean, you see bits of like side characters are black or something like that and things of that nature, but like I never see this to see this many black people in a Pixar movie. It's like it was kind of almost like weird. It's like, I never see this week like a lot of black people in these kind of animated movies like this. And it's like, oh, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool too. It's like to finally see that. But yeah, I mean, I felt like it did feel like when he's interacting with his mother and things of that nature, and his former students and other black people, like with the jazz, it felt real. Like it felt like, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. They did a good job with that, making it feel authentic, like in that way. Oh, but go ahead.
Let me ask you this: as far as like, I feel like the barbershop is kind of a trope. Does it feel like it's something that they lean on too much, or is it just like that's part of my experience, so that feels appropriate?
I think that is appropriate.
Okay.
I honestly, because for me, I mean, that's the way the barbershop was my life, and a lot of my people I know. The barbershop is that. That's what it means for a lot of blacks. It is basically their therapy, their place to let loose and talk about things. Like, yeah, I go there as be a stranger, and I probably never seen them before. They don't know me, I don't know them, but they'll be out there talking about their business. Right. But that's just what you do.
Okay. That's
just what you do when you're there. That people do. Not that everybody does it, no, but you see that. Yeah. Like that is. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, hey, that seems like a go-to thing, but that is a thing. Like for blacks, that's literally.
And that's why I wanted to ask you. Like, I see it a lot in media, and I've been in this environment long enough to know that it is a thing, but I didn't know if it's just like if people see it as like, oh, they're doing that again, it's easy to go there.
I always wonder what white people do. Because I never see that much in movies about white people going to barbershops.
Do you remember the King of the Hill one, Dominic?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like that.
Oh, okay. So you got an old guy who gets senile and starts cutting hair wrong and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the episodes. That's the episode he got getting a barber.
I mean, for me, that's kind of what it always was, though, and not like old guy getting senile, but it was very much like, because the one I went to was right in the middle of Woodlawn, like, Main Street Woodlawn, which is, like 3 buildings long. And it was literally just one older guy, you went in there, he had a television on, he had a magazine. Some people, if they were friendlier, would talk to each other. But for the most part, it was just, come in, wait your turn, and get your hair cut. He might chat you up a little bit, but, nothing to maybe sports or something. But that was it. Yeah. Granted, I was also a lot younger back then, so I wasn't really, getting into it too much.
Did you get a lollipop?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Love going there for lollipops. Also, just
like lollipops was when I was a babe, like a little kid, and I wouldn't shut up because I was crying.
Just stick it in there, shut you down.
Yeah.
No, I mean my memories were always like I always liked getting a haircut because, especially once he broke out like the clippers that trim around like your ears and the back of your neck and stuff. Like I always liked the feeling of that. And that was kind of the memory that I would have about that stuff. But yeah, it was never really the social gathering that you see in movies for like black people, where it's like so many more barbers there usually, you know, that kind of thing, and just kind of everybody interacting with each other. So,
that's how it is. So that's real. Like that's real.
Gotcha.
And I like that scene. That scene was good. That scene was
absolutely,
pretty good.
Yeah. I like that bit. Yeah. And I like, you know, the lesson that he learns from that too, of, you know, like, oh yeah, we always talk about jazz, and it was nice to talk about something other than that. And you know, seeing that, like, there's a lot of evolution in this movie that, like, they don't take advantage of necessarily. Like that's why I feel like this movie is so sweet in a way. Like, I guess it's kind of spoilery, but like there's not a definitive ending kind of thing. You know, there's not like here's the payoff. Like there's a bit of that, but the payoff for him, you don't really see. But you've seen him grow over the movie to know that there is going to be, or seemingly will be, a change in his life and his attitude and everything that will be a benefit to him, I think.
Yeah, that was definitely. Yeah, Pixar, they do a good job with the storytelling with the majority of their movies, majority of them, except for like Good Dinosaur and Cars 2 and 3. But like they have a few flops, and Planes is one of them. Don't let them not tell you that.
Disney's Planes, Dominic.
Yeah, whatever. We know what that is. They have some great storytelling. I actually want to watch Brave again, because, like I said, when I only watched it one time, and I did not like it when I first saw it. I'm going to give it another shot, and to see, maybe I'll appreciate it more. Yeah. Now, maybe.
I mean, that's like watching this movie. I was thinking about it. Like, it's so weird that Cars, specifically like Cars 2 and this, come from the same studio, because Cars very much does seem like a thing that was built well, again, Cars 2 specifically feels very much like a thing produced to move merchandise. Whereas I couldn't really see them pumping out a whole bunch of toys and stuff from this movie. This just feels like a very emotional, you know, picture. Like it very much could just be like placed in the best pictures kind of category. It's not, this was made for ulterior motives and is also a very good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just like how Toy Story, did you see Toy Story 4 yet?
I still haven't. I really want to.
Because that's how I feel about that.
Every time I bring it up, my wife is like, I don't want to cry today. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Did she cry doing Soul?
Just a little teary near the end.
Yeah, it was. It was emotional at the end. It was. Yeah. It was emotional. But just like Toy Story 4, 3 and 4 probably didn't have to be made. But 3 was good. It had a nice ending. And like 3 ended really so well. Like, said, man, we don't need another one.
Yeah, they came back around and convinced me that, okay, it was all right for them to make this. Also, they don't need to make another one again.
And then they made 4. And it's like, why are you making 4? But 4 turned out to be, it is a good movie. It didn't have to be made, but it also didn't feel like, oh, they're just making it make more money. Like you say, oh, this is kind of cheap. They did, but did a really good job on the overall movie. So I'll give it that. It's like, hey, I guess if you're going to pump out sequels, this is the way you do it, man. Like, like, because it's still great. Like every Toy Story movie is good. It's not like, oh, this is shitty. Like, this is the shitty one. It got a little bit better now. No, it's not like, hey, the Rituals is the best one and that's it. No, I think they're all very good movies, and they all have something. But so, I was surprised how much I did like Toy Story 4. I was like, oh man, I'm surprised, because, I mean, I thought it'd be okay. Like, I thought it'd be like, I'll enjoy it, but yeah, like, it's gonna be like not that great. It's like, whatever. It's like, y'all didn't have to do this. And I say, oh, this is great. You still didn't have to do it, but this was great. Yeah, hey, at least y'all put great effort into it. You know, like, you actually made a great movie. And Pixar, that's why I used to love the studio. I mean, but then they, you know, like I said, it got to round cards when I started seeing like, oh, what's going on here? They did the Cars sequel. They did The Good Dinosaur. They did Brave. I think Brave was one of the first ones. Like,
yeah, Brave.
That was the first one I really. It's like, man, I didn't enjoy this movie really. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie. It's just that it was nothing special for me personally about it. But yeah, I think that's where I really fell off. I mean, I gotta say fall off, but I was like, being Pixar, they're still better than DreamWorks, but I don't know. But they're probably the most consistent of all animated studios, really. I mean, if you want to put movies, period, but I mean, movies are so big. I mean, the Pacific Studio, they're very consistent in the movies they do. And I appreciate it. And they did a good job with Soul. Like, I was glad that it didn't turn into like, oh, he's turned into this little blue caricature, whatever. And now this is what the rest of the movie is going to be. Like him trying to get back to his real world, but he's in this other, like, spoiler alert, like he's in the before life, I guess, whatever, where they're giving, this is how people get personalities to the unborn, I guess. It's the unborn. Yeah. I thought that was going to be the rest of the movie. I was like, oh man, this is an adventure, him giving back to Earth. I was like, it's probably going to be all right, but it's not what I want. But I was glad that they ended up going back to Earth early, and spoiler alert, I mean, I said it before, but whatever. But they switched by. It's like the person he met, one of the unborns he met, 22, right? It was 22, right? Yeah. She went into his body, and he went to a cat's body who was supposed to be, like a therapy cat or something.
Yeah, exactly.
in a place. Oh man, I wish somebody would. Well, no, I guess hopefully by that
I'm sure they check allergies or something.
Yeah, because somebody
get you
will
a therapy dog
cat.
instead.
Or I don't even have the allergy. I hate cats. I wake up, see a cat, it's like, I'll throw it. That's it. Get out of here. Yeah, you better give me a therapy dog or a therapy lizard or something like that. Anyway, so that was funny with that. But I was glad to get to the real world, to interact with his people in his neighborhood and things of that nature. Yeah, it was funny. This was good. You know what? And I still have not. I just reminded myself. I still have not finished watching the ending, the one that came out earlier this year, the Pixar movie.
Earlier this year,
the one with Spider-Man playing in it.
Oh shit! I forgot about that one. Yeah, the Onward.
I still wouldn't. I forgot to watch the ending on that movie. I'm like close to the end. That was good too.
I forgot about that movie. Yeah,
I'll probably just watch it from the beginning again.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I watched of that movie, but I think this one is far better. I enjoyed it far more.
You saw the whole movie, right? Onward?
Yeah, I actually ended up going back a couple of times because I think I kept falling asleep during it, but then I like rewind it and come back to it. Yeah, I thought it was sweet, but it's probably on the lower tier. It's like mid tier Pixar. It's not up there with the best.
Yeah. No. I don't think it is either. I think it was okay. I think it was pretty. It was okay. It was. I enjoyed what I saw. But yeah, I just enjoyed what I saw. All right. So I guess we get to the last movie, the big one, the other big one, I should say, Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah.
So you go first, since it seemed like you enjoyed it a lot more than I did initially.
I did. Anyway. I came in this talking to you about it before we started recording proper, and I think I came out of this liking it better than the first movie. The first movie for me kind of fell apart and on the end stuff, that kind of boss battle-y stuff. But talking through this one, it really does have a lot of problems, and they were problems kind of evident during it. Like I was actively thinking about a lot of them, but they didn't necessarily ruin my experience at the time. And I don't think they've ruined my experience, but it's definitely something that I can I can acknowledge and criticize. The intentions in the plot are just they're confusing, to be honest with you. There's a lot of story beats that don't really make a lot of sense until they're kind of explained very blatantly near the end of the movie. And I think a lot of it is enjoyable, and then it kind of hits a stumbling point near the end, just like the first movie did. It kind of wraps up a little too neatly in kind of a very anticlimactic way, which is pretty disappointing, considering the fact that I still think this is one of the top movies from the DC movies that we've gotten so far. But they're still not like hitting them out of the park the way I would like to see them, especially with the way Wonder Woman 1 was. Like, it had so much potential for this one to really knock it out of the park. And I think they do a lot of really good things, and that's why I say I enjoy it a lot. But there are a lot of stumbling blocks that they just kind of didn't really hit the stride that I feel like they could.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Yeah, for me, it's the same way. Like, I think the movie overall is a decent movie. It's a decent watch. It's a good watch. Mm-hmm. But I'm disappointed. I really thought it would be a lot better than what I saw. And like you said, it's a lot of plot holes. It's kind of like plot holes or not. Well, I want to say a lot of plot holes. There was a lot of things, like you said, it wasn't explained very well.
Yeah, it's just a lot of confusion and kind of muddiness.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about it throughout the movie, and I'm constantly thinking, like, what does this mean? And it's mostly me trying to fill it in myself, thinking, like, okay, this means this. But it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be explained to me. I shouldn't have to be thinking about that. But, I mean, the acting was pretty good. I mean, I enjoy it. I think the characters were good. I think Gal Gadot did a good job. I know some people said, like, oh, she wasn't that great on the internet, but I thought she was fine. I thought she was fine as Wonder Woman. And I'm trying to think what else to say before we get to spoilers. The effects were all right.
Yeah, I felt everything. Nothing really made me go, oh, that looks bad, which is good. Because even like some of the top tier Marvel movies, I mean, Black Panther aside, that's kind of a aberration where they just clearly didn't give a fuck, apparently, with the CG. But even some of the other Marvel movies, it's just something that'll pull you out of them and go like, yeah, that kind of looks messy. But yeah, I didn't feel that way about this at all.
No. And the thing is, I mean, one reason is that they didn't use probably a lot of stuff. The effects were kind of practical in a sense. You know what I mean? It's not like space lasers or shooting and stuff like that. It was more, normal guns and like that scene you saw in the previews with the trucks, the tanks and things of that nature. So that also helped too. It was a little like more somewhat, I mean, for a woman who has these powers, it was kind of grounded in a sense, and which it works. I like that. It's just I wish the plot took a different turn.
Yeah,
like I
think that's part of why like the ending stuff just kind of makes me sad, because like it is kind of a relatively grounded story at the beginning, and then it just kind of gets wilder and wilder, and then you have the same problem you have with a lot of these movies where it's like, okay, now the entire world and the entire universe are on the line again.
Yeah. It's like it gets huge, and it's like, does it have to be? That's why I like some things to be confined, that's okay. It could be something like the bad guy's just local on that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, or, I mean, if something could affect the world, but the world doesn't know. Like, the world doesn't know it happened. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather that. Like, something that, hey, what he's going to do is going to affect everybody. But it's not like, hey, everybody knows something was about to happen. Like, the world's about to end soon,
Exactly.
But so.
It's on every news channel now.
Yeah. Like, hey, that's the thing about being a hero. You're a hero without anybody knowing or whatever. Or they even knew something was going to happen. Say, hey, that's the greatest way to ever solve something. So, yeah, it's an all right movie. Like, I don't know. So some people say they don't like it better than the first one. I might be in that same boat. I had to watch the first one again. Like right now, it's maybe. I probably don't like this as much as the first one. It's still, compared to the recent DC movies, it's probably still my top ones. I mean, it's probably Wonder Woman 84, and Aquaman or Man of Steel. Because I like Man of Steel. I enjoyed it more than
I do
probably like the loud people who really don't like it do. But I think Man of Steel is. I think I probably like Man of Steel more than Aquaman. I don't know. But those are probably like my four. If I'm missing something, I don't remember. I know I didn't like Batman, Superman. I didn't. Justice League, I didn't really enjoy. And Suicide Squad. I mean, I like Suicide Squad, but that would be behind them. I mean, I enjoy Suicide Squad more than a lot of people, but that's worse than those movies. Joker, I don't include in this. Joker is by itself to me. That just
absolutely.
Yeah, that's just different to me. I mean, I liked it, but it just did. It's like I said, for a comic movie, it's not really a comic movie to me. I don't know. I just don't see it that way. If I missed something, I don't know. I didn't finish watching Birds of Prey. What I watched so far, I didn't really enjoy, but maybe it gets better. I'll give it a chance. But yeah, I think the one was the best, but I think it could have been so much better. Like I felt like this, like 84, I just felt like it had to be better. I mean, your sequel's supposed to be better than the first one. Because the first Wonder Woman was good. It wasn't, I wouldn't call it like super, like, oh, this is excellent and it's great. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
And so I really thought this was going to really step it up. And it's got weird. Meaning the plot just didn't stick for me. I guess we get to spoilers now. The whole thing about the wishing, I mean, that's okay. They did that. The problem, what we were saying about the plot is that they never explained it until close to the end of that. If you make a wish, it's like a monkey paw situation, basically. You make a wish and you lose something. You get what you wish for, but you lose something. They never really explained that. So
yeah, because I think the first instance that you're supposed to see that is like when she gets shot during that tank sequence.
Oh,
and actually, I didn't put two and two together. Oh, is it before that even?
It's actually before that, Dan. It was when she was trying to break that gate open to get to the corporation because she wasn't.
That makes
she didn't
a lot of
pull
sense
it off.
Now. Yeah.
She didn't pull it off. She was like having a hard time with it.
Right.
And I remember watching it, and I was like, "Is this just a strong lock, or what's going on here?"
Yeah. I thought that was the joke, was like that she ends up ripping the entire thing off instead of just the lock because like the lock was, just super strong or so. I thought it was, a funny bit. But yeah, now that you point that out, that makes a lot of sense that that's supposed to start showing that she's weakening and then she gets shot. And
exactly. And
all you had to do was make that clear ahead of those things. Cause I was telling you is like, when he asked the oil guy, like, what he wants, and it's like, but you want to be the top oil guy. So if he says he wants to be the top oil guy, how does that benefit you at all? And then he's like, I want the land returned to my people. And he's like, okay, I got your oil now. And it's like, but did you get a wish from that? How do you just get to say that? Is he going to agree to that now because you theoretically got him his people's land back, and then he says he doesn't have any oil anymore and he takes his militia or whatever, but like why is he just going to let that happen? But then we learn he takes something basically from everyone that he gives a wish to, and then it starts to make sense. You kind of rewind back to all the scenes and you're like, oh, okay, he did that because of that. And then here he gets this, and okay, it starts to make sense. But yeah. Cause even like he asks, one of the first ones is he asked like his financier or whatever, like, what do you wish for? And then, you know, basically ruins that dude. And it's like, oh, okay, now it makes sense why he would let him make a wish, because he's then taking something from him.
Yeah. It's just never really explained very well. And I think they were trying to do like, oh, it's a twist. Like you see, now you see it. But I don't think it didn't explain very well. I don't know what direction
effective. No.
Yeah. And now with Cheetah, like, because she made a wish of being like Wonder Woman. So it made her strong and everything, like her.
Strong and confident.
Beautiful.
And,
confident. I mean, she wasn't ugly. She just, I guess she's just more noticeable.
They literally made her beautiful by doing the trope of taking off her glasses and pulling her hair down or whatever, you know?
Exactly. And it made it more, and she wanted to be noticeable, like people notice her and things of that nature, and people start seeing her. Like men would like, oh, hey, how you doing? Barbara? But thing is, how she became actual Cheetah, because I was confused. I was like you said that when she started changing her clothes, you thought you would see a tail or something, you know,
right.
like, oh, she's changing.
I thought there would be like some slow evolution of like, oh, I got to change pants because this tail that's growing weirdly does not fit anymore.
Yeah. But no, the only reason she becomes Cheetah is because apparently she gets a second wish because of Max. He becomes the stone in the movie. As he wishes, he wishes to become the stone, but he gets the stone. He wishes to be the stone, so that's why people can have to ask him for wishes. He gives her a wish, which I thought she already wished for something, because they also seem like they say the rule that you can't wish again. But I'm guessing maybe it was a reset because he becomes the stone. So she wished to be the apex predator, like she's number one, and that's why she
different
changed
from everyone else.
Yeah. And that's why she changed into the Cheetah. But it ain't happened instantly. It happened like when they landed into that base or whatever. And then she changed. I don't know. I think that was a cheap way of her being a Cheetah. I think there could have been a better way of her becoming Cheetah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, I was thinking it was going to be another artifact. I thought it was going to be another artifact. I thought it was like, that's one artifact that Max Lord was getting. And she was going to there was going to be another artifact that something happens and she becomes a Cheetah. But
because she basically was like an archaeologist or something, right? Like a scientific.
I mean, that's what the real character was. And that's how she got to be Cheetahs, because she found some artifact that did that. Yeah, I think that was a pretty cheap way her becoming Cheetah. And a really cheap, like you said, a cheap ending where everybody just gets fixed because he renounced his wish, which everybody renounced their wishes, because he wanted the world to wish him using that television, like broadcasting everywhere around the world, getting more powerful because people make your wishes. But then
he just basically wanted more and more and more.
Yeah, and then Wonder Woman convinces the world to renounce their wish with those sappy speeches. I mean, a good speech, but it's sappy. And then he thought about his son, saving his son. So I can see my son, he's in trouble. And he renounced his.
Because she used her lasso to like show him like his past, and then his son. Yeah.
So like you said, it kind of just ended everything in a nice little bow. I mean, she lost Trevor again because she had to renounce her wish, because her wish was Trevor and it made her weak. And that was sad. But it's now you just know, like, oh, obviously he couldn't be there anymore because this is the past, and we didn't see nothing about Trevor and
he weirdly inhabited like some other dude's body. That was a very interesting way to go about that happening. Like, because I know there was a lot of speculation of like, is Maxwell Lord just giving her like the illusion of it? And I guess technically it kind of was, because like, maybe other people were still seeing that guy as that guy.
Yeah, they were seeing him as him. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was seeing him, as Trevor. So. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, we didn't even say it. Like, what's so messy about the ending, especially, is just that, like, it turns into full out like nuclear war because like he gets to the president and the president's like, what do you want? And he's like, I want more nukes. And then Russia's like, oh shit, they got more nukes. We're going to set off all the nukes. And then the United States is like, we're going to set off all the nukes. So it's literally like missiles flying through the sky and then they disappear when everybody renounces their wishes. And that's what we mean when we say like the stakes just like end up so high for sort of an unnecessary reason. Like this really could have been a much tighter, more localized kind of thing, especially if you're not going to get rid of Maxwell Lord. And granted, I think you've basically, you know, you're never going to use him as a villain again, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless his child died. I mean, maybe somebody kills his son or something, and then he's like, I got nothing to live for. I want all the power back again or something. But I don't feel like we get there anytime soon with these movies.
And does he even still have it, the power, if he renounced it?
No, because he renounced his wish. So, yeah, he's not the stone anymore. I don't know if the stone then reappears somewhere else, but... yeah, seemingly Cheetah, he doesn't have those powers.
Like Cheetah's gone because she's not Cheetah anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she renounced and she, you know, which I like that Wonder Woman didn't kill her because it seemed like she was going to.
Yeah, I thought she would. I mean, I thought she was going to get electrocuted, shocked, and like die.
I mean, maybe hopefully. Here's what I'm hoping is she didn't actually renounce her powers. What ended up happening? She didn't see her renounce,
but she went back to being
right. Cheetah. What I hope is that because Maxwell Lord renounced his powers, it was taken from her, and now she's angry about that. Maybe she'll find another artifact that will turn her back into Cheetah or into a different style Cheetah, and then we get maybe that's what the next movie is or something like that. Like that's what I'm hoping for coming off of this, and now thinking about everything.
Yeah, I just felt like so bad. It's a decent movie. It's a I know your wife liked it. She as on Facebook she expressed it. I said she was wrong. I told her she was wrong.
And what she expressed on Facebook was basically it was worth the price of HBO Max, and I think $15. You know, you're not going to get a movie ticket. I think
it is
that cheap in most places.
$15 plus other things, plus other
all the additional content that we were talking about. Yeah, so
like you can see all the great movies, like the Justice League and the and Suicide Squad. And that nature.
Did you get anything from the mid-credit sequence?
Oh, with the old Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Linda Carter.
I mean, it was. I guess it was funny.
Yeah,
it was funny. I mean, was there something else? Was something else I missed?
No, I was wondering if there would end up being something, you know, after the credits. I think it's interesting that they didn't go in the route of like, okay, we're building to the next thing, because I think they've gotten to the point with Wonder Woman at least where they're like, yeah, we're going to keep her over here for right now because these are pretty good movies and we don't really know what we're doing with the rest of the universe right now. So we're not like, I'm going to throw in a hint to the Batman or something. Granted, also, who knows how those timelines are working. Granted, we know Wonder Woman is in 84, but we don't know, you know, when the Batman set or how that's even going to tie into any of these previous movies or future movies even. So, yeah. Somewhere along the line, there's supposed to be a Flash movie that is like the next one. There's also Shazam 2. Like there's a whole bunch of movies, and I know like COVID has kind of screwed up the schedules, obviously, for even Marvel, who very much had laid out when things were coming out. But yeah, just everything seems so up in the air right now with DC. Like you have a Black Adam movie that is basically The Rock with superpowers, seemingly. Like it's less about it being Black Adam and so much more about, hey, The Rock is going to be a superhero or anti-superhero.
Is that what it is?
That's what it feels like right now with the way they're marketing, because they don't have anything to show. So it's constantly just The Rock being like, hey, I'm The Rock and I'm going to be in this movie. Yeah, and that's the thing is like they don't have anything to show right now. Like I don't know. Like I said with
Shazam, it's going to be weird
because they're filming.
Kids in real life grow, so those kids, those people, They're all adults now. I mean, I know that's
it's
not true.
fine, Dominic. They're just going to put like the CG faces of the original kids onto some new kids, and they can do this for eternity. It'll be fine. Actors can live forever now. So, yeah, I think overall I enjoyed the movie, but yeah, it's talking through it. There's a lot of issues with it that I think I was hoping would be resolved, you know, in that I think some of these issues arised in the first movie, and I was hoping they would do better this time, and they kind of didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but hey, hope some people enjoy it. Some people did, so that's good. And hey, you can see it at home. You don't have to go out to theaters to see it. I mean, unless you really wanted to. So yeah. I'm sorry. I think
some of that stuff would be cool to see in theaters. The scene with the invisible jet and flying through the fireworks, and her flying and using the lasso and lightning, and even the quick. That was the kind of thing, right? Like the fight with Cheetah was pretty quick, and
yeah,
the gold armor was like such a big thing in advertising, which I kind of wish they didn't even show off at the time, but especially with the way it ended up being used, is like it was part of that fight, but it was so short. Yeah, so it would have been cooler for them to allude to it earlier in the film, which they do when they kind of show off, you know, Trevor looking at it, and then having it show up of her actually using it, I think would be a cooler surprise than just having used it in the marketing this whole time and getting a little boost out of that, I guess. So, yeah.
All right. So now we get into what we've been playing. So you go first. All
right. Yeah. So just like
game.
Last week, I've been playing more Control. Just that's basically been it. Just there's nothing really new to talk about. Still enjoying it, still kind of making my way through, but yeah. So, what have you been? Yeah. What have you been playing?
Still enjoying it, so that's good. That's good.
Nice.
All right, so with me, it's pretty much with Yakuza 2. I did finish the Cabaret. I won the championships. I mean, it's multiple championships, but I won the big one. And I got the former Cabaret girl hostess from back in Yakuza 0, which is like 20 years ago. She wow. Well, less than 20 years. She came back out of retirement to come in for the championship. And it's funny how they make her look all like dorky now, like she's wearing glasses and got her hair in like a ponytail, but then when she gets her looking good for a hostess, she look all beautiful and like, oh, this was the best hostess. She used to be the best hostess ever. And then we won the championship. So now we will not be shut down, and Four Shines is doing big things. So what else? Oh yeah, I think I made a mistake from last time. This isn't the same Cabaret that Bajima was the manager of. He was the manager of Sunshine. So then we were competing against Sunshine in the championship. Also, here's the thing, because we find out that the judge, well, one of the, not the judge, what's it called? One of the hosts of the championships, he's a big guy, like the game show host, I guess, or something like that. He's always doing goofy things. He has that bowl cut, that see some Japanese people have. Uh-huh. Yeah, and then he's all silly. But you find out that he was getting paid by the competing manager to do some cheating and stuff.
Oh, boy.
So it's funny how when he got caught, he zoomed out of there like he was gone. It's like, oh, he can run really fast. And then guess who became the new host? Majima. came in. And he came, then the thing is, the girl knew her. It's like, where'd you been? I haven't heard you in years and anything. And you got this crazy eye patch now? Something like that, because he didn't have an eye patch.
Right.
And but he became the host. And he's funny as hell. I mean, watch him. I like him. And he is good. He is good. And he always helps Kiro, but he always helps him because he said, I'm going to be one that kills you. No one else will. Like, I'm the one who's going to finish you off. But I want to see, like, in the last game, like, what happens with their relationship with Majima. Yeah. Because he's a great character. They did a good job with him. It's just so funny how cool and collective he used to be from Zero. Now that you think about it, it's like, Darren, he was just all calm and nice. I guess he was holding it all in. And they was like, oh, let the crazy out.
Who's repressed.
Yeah. All right, so also I'm playing some Cuphead.
Nefarious?
Yeah, nefarious. Yes, nefarious. Very nefarious reasons I'm playing this game. I play this game because I found some cheats online, and that can help me get achievements, so I can beat the dude who I'm competing for achievements on my friends list. Because
I hate to break it to you, Dominic. He listens to this podcast, and he's going to know that your win is not
that's
valid.
What I want to know.
Did you not learn the lesson in Wonder Woman, Dominic? Even if you win, if you cheat, you're cheating yourself.
I'm okay with that. Okay. Just like Cheetah was. So, because he got those 1,000 points on the first day of December, I was like, that's bullshit.
Crazy.
You cannot. No. I was like, nope.
I want to take a Christmas break, but I got to beat this dude still, so I'm just going to wrap this up right at the beginning.
I guess he's hoping, but I'm catching up. I'm 187 points away from catching up to him. Because I've been getting these achievements in Cuphead. I already beat the game before, but now I'm trying to go back, and now, because I beat it on, that was a Steam or something. So I don't get achievement points for that.
Right.
And so I'm on the third island now, and I beat everybody at least with the A ranking. I did get A+ and everything, excuse me. Mostly because of my time. And some things I really have a hard time trying to parry, man. Getting those pink things or whatever. Wherever it's pink, you parry, in Cuphead. And it's like, when it gets like low to the, if they're shooting something pink low to the ground, I luckily get it because I never time it right. It's like, I gotta jump when I'm close to the ground. I say, oh God, that's the hard stuff. But I'm not dying, so it's still easy. Still makes things easier for me. But man, that game is, oh God, it just looks so good. Just looking at that game again, it's like, man, I see why it took so long. I mean, it's not a long game, but just the animation. It's hand-drawn animation, so it
really is incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible that they did this game. And I do want a sequel, but I also want them to put like a baby mode for people like me.
Yes. I'm right there with you.
So I can feel better.
I take a couple more hits. That's all I need.
I beat it too. I don't want to have to use cheats. I want to have to do it. You made me do it. You made me. All right. All right. Also play some Scourgebringer. Because you reminded me that, hey, I did like this game. From the summer indie game fest. So I played some of that. I think I got to the second stage, and man, that game is fun. I die a lot, but it's great. I still be trying to brute force the bosses, and that's what I do. I just keep dying until I'm strong enough to brute force, not try to dodge anything. I don't try to dodge. Like, I'm gonna keep hitting the button, keep hitting this exit button and zooming in and heavy hits. Even though it's an easy way to beat it if you time the heavy hits to stop them. But I was like, I like it my way better. I like my way of just brute forcing and just going through. But man, I just like the feel of that game. I just love the feel of you just going through fast and hell and just defeating all the enemies in the room. Yeah, I think it's a good. What's these games called? What's these games called again?
Roguelike.
Roguelike, yeah. It's definitely a good roguelike game. All right. Also, I've been playing some Super Nintendo Classic on the Switch. So I play some Donkey Kong. I've been playing some Donkey Kong. I am think I just got to that second island. I finished the minecart. I finished the dark and light stage, the off and on stage, and I think that's it. I think that's why I stopped at. I'm trying to remember, did I do anything after that? I don't think so. But Donkey Kong Country, it just reminds me how, man, I thought incredible that game was when it first came out. I thought it was like, oh man, this is the best looking game on the consoles between the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. And I used to be so jealous. Like I always go to a friend's house, because my sister used to babysit this guy named Todd, and so I used to always want to go over with her because I was like, oh, these people look like they're rich and they have a lot of things and they have things I don't have, especially Donkey Kong Country. So I wanted to play Donkey Kong Country every time I went over there, man. And it looked like Todd didn't really care much about playing it, so I was like, good. So I can just play this game all the time. But he used to get mad because I want to play with him sometimes. But I play with him. I said, I got to play with him a bit. And then I'm going to come over here and play some Donkey Kong Country because that game so incredible. I think how far I get, I think I always died at, I forgot where I used to always die at. This is always early. I think I finally beat the boss on Donkey Kong Country, and the first boss, the big beaver or whatever. But
yeah,
it was another place I used to never get to. I don't know why I couldn't get past. Because now I think about saying, man, this is easy. Why can't I beat this? Like, man, I suck at video games.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, but it was always the mine carts for me that I always had trouble with, just timing those.
Yeah. So, my sister and my half sister, she had Donkey Kong Country. I used to go to her house too, because she used to always all these game systems that I didn't have. She had a PlayStation. She had she even had the 32X. Well, she ended up giving it to me eventually because she didn't play it. And she had 32X. She had the Sega CD and all that shit. So he's like going to her house to play games. And Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, that was my favorite Super Nintendo game. That was my favorite Super Nintendo game. It's because of how it looks. I was like, I've never seen a game look like this. I mean, the platform was fine. I liked it, but it was just the look of that game was just so incredible to me. All right, what else did I play? I played some Celeste too. I played some of Celeste, nice. And I had cheats for that, of course.
Even nicer.
I wanted to get so cheap. Yeah. So I never, because I never really played through the game, even though Celeste technically has cheats in the game. But I think if you turn them on, you don't get achievements.
Accessibility options, Dominic, not cheats.
Yeah, accessibility, like people who can't play video games, like me. So, yes. But I guess there's a story to this game because I wonder what it was, and it looks like she's climbing this mountain. I guess as the game goes on, I find out more because maybe it's something to do with something to do with her life. But I'm still at the very beginning. Because it seems like, I know she had a breakup with a boyfriend. It seems like she had a dream and she saw her dark self or something. And this is a game I would never beat if I played it on normal. I know that. If I played this game normally, after going through the stage of where you have to run away from your dark self.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell I would beat it.
They are difficult. Yeah.
I was like, maybe, can you save in between? If you beat a different part of the stage, can it just save right there and you can come back later? Because that's the only way.
To do that in one. I don't remember if it's. I think it might be screen by screen. I can't remember.
I was about to say, if it's screen by screen, I probably can do it. It will take me a year to beat this game, but I will probably do it because, goddamn. Looking at that, because I was dying because you still, even though I'm invincible, I still die if I fall or something, because it's just you fall, you got to start over again. Or if it was something else. Oh, if that girl hit me, she because I automatically die because she don't touch me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, man, this is good God. And this game got like people love this game and stuff. I said, man, y'all, I just suck at video games because I don't know how the fuck I would ever beat this game. I couldn't, if that was a game reviewer, I can't review this damn game. I didn't get past the first stage. It's like
that's your review. Too hard, couldn't get past first stage, sucks. 2 out of 10.
So you cannot get me to review this game. All right. I'll play it in accessibility mode. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a great game. Turn on invincibility, infinite jumps, and all that stuff. You're all good. All right. And I think that's it. I think that's all I played. So I guess we take a quick break. We get back. We get to the last month of the year for a flashback segment. And we're back. And we're flashing back to the last week of December in 2010. And yep, we were finally going to be going to a new year. We were looking at 2011, Daniel. 2011 is almost here.
Not ready for
it. So, on this last week, it's not a lot of games, but there's a few things out there. You got a World of Keflings came out for the Xbox Live Arcade. What was this game about?
Okay. That
was a strategy game?
I think that's what it is. I remember those being relatively big, but I never really got into them. They're the ones that use like the avatars.
Yeah.
And I think it was like kind of isometric perspective, kind of top-downy looking thing. But I honestly don't know what you really did in them.
Yeah, I'd never played the game. I always seen it though. Also, you had this is a game I played, Back to the Future the game. This was the
the Telltale one.
Telltales, yeah. Darn, I can't remember the damn name, man. Yeah, they've been gone for so long.
Yeah,
well, not that long, but still, they're gone. Telltale game, Back to the Future. I like this game, and this was still the old model of how they did those point and click games. It wasn't after this game is when they did The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you still had to like figure out puzzles and things of that nature, like collect items and stuff like that. And this was a good sequel to Back to the Future. I think this was a good sequel. It's a good story. They had some of the original cast was there. Christopher Lloyd was still there. Man, that man is still kicking. He is still kicking. Good for him. And also Michael J. Fox, he didn't play, well, technically, he played his older self. You saw him in the last episode. There was another guy who talked just like Marty McFly. He sounded just like him, who played him. So that was good. So that was some good voice acting they found there. But yeah, this was good. I really did like this game. I think I first played it on the PlayStation. I think I bought it on PlayStation because it was like a sale, and I just bought the whole series. Actually, I don't know. Did I get it all at one time, or did I end up getting it like I bought the season pass and I got it? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember what I did. All right, so anyway, what else we got? We got Echochrome 2 came out on the PS3. I didn't even know this existed. I remember Echochrome, but I know they had a part 2. And I don't remember that one either. Okay, what was Echochrome again?
Echochrome is the one that's like an MC Escher drawing where you got like the little drawing pose figure, like those little wooden sculpture guys.
Yes.
And you're manipulating like your viewpoint to try and get them to the exit, basically.
Yeah, so that came out 10 years ago. Also, Rascals, as in, not Rascals as little kids, but I guess they're little kids, but they're dead, because they're skulls.
Yeah.
And then, like, they're skeletons. And it's a platforming game that came on the Xbox Live Arcade where you use a wand and you got some barriers in your way, and the wand kind of makes them disappear. You got to get to the end of the level as fast as you can. I think it's a timed experience, but it got rated okay. I think I got like a 70-something rating. I saw Metacritic.
Yeah.
And apparently you said they got toys. Yeah, they got toys for it, too. They had also a helmet. You said
that's a different company that just has the same name. Yeah.
No, but they did have toys. They did have toys, though. They did have like a little toy Rascals, but they didn't. I don't think they ever got big or anything because I don't care about them anymore. And then you got Funko Pops and all that stuff. So, like, who want a Rascal? Maybe they were trying to go something with there. Maybe that was the start of them trying to get something, and then it's like, it didn't work out.
Exactly.
All right, so what else we got? We going back. Oh, that's it. That is it for 2010. So now we're going back 20 years to the year 2000. Yep, and now we're almost there to 2001, Daniel. 2001. All right. So we got Phantasy Star Online came out in Japan for the Dreamcast.
Oh wow!
And this was like a big deal because people were really anticipating this, like a console online game, like a RPG.
I remember getting excited about it finally coming to the GameCube.
Yeah, and Phantasy Star was like a big franchise that was part of Sega lineup on previous consoles. I didn't know what this was. I was like, oh, they spelled fantasy wrong. And
I never realized that it had anything to do with those RPGs because I don't know that I knew that those RPGs existed.
Yeah, because I was like, is this Final Fantasy? I said, no, it's not Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And that became popular. That was a popular game. Mm-hmm. On the short-lived Dreamcast, yeah, people did like it. Exactly, because you see now that people were all excited for that Phantasy Star. What is it, 2?
Yeah, 2, and then they also did like the revisit of the first one or whatever it was.
That's right, they did. And it's like, it's a free online game, right?
I don't remember.
It looked like, I thought it was a free online game, but I don't know. All right. Also, last and maybe least, ECW Anarchy Rules came out on December 30th.
Oh boy.
The year 2000. ECW, yeah, I remember that wrestling show, but I never played any of the video games. So I'm going to assume it wasn't that great because I heard nobody talk about it.
I don't believe it was very good.
Yeah.
I want to say this is one that had the Insane Clown Posse in it, but not entirely sure. Let's see. Yeah, see, I don't even remember that cover. That I was thinking of something else, like an ECW Backyard something or other. But yeah, it was made by Acclaim, so that means it was probably not very good because Acclaim was not making very good wrestling games. But you do have RVD and Rhino and Just Incredible and Tommy Dreamer and Sandman on the cover. So those are all people that you think of when you think of ECW.
Yeah. All right, so that closes it out, man. That closes out the year, but we're not finished yet. Since it's the end of the year, just like last year, I looked at what did all the publishers or websites give for their top game of the year for that specific year. So now we're gonna go I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna do 2000 and the 2000 version of that publisher and what they gave for that year, and the 2010 of what they gave that for that year too. So I want to keep going back up the list, you know. All right. So the first one is the British Academy Game Awards.
The BAFTAs?
The BAFTA, yes. The BAFTA Entertainment Awards, formerly known as the BAFTA. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So they are so in the year 2000 for the console, the game of the year was Medieval 2. 1 on the PlayStation. On the handheld, Pokemon Yellow 1. And on the PC, Deus Ex 1. Okay.
That seems about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Medieval 2, I'm curious. That's really? Let me see what the other people give, because I don't think they're going to give Medieval 2.
I forgot Medieval even got a 2.
Oh, look, the Czech Game of the Year. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm skipping. I'm going to another award show, but I didn't do 2010. Oh, yes. Now, for 2010, their Game of the Year was the greatest game ever. Mass Effect 2.
See, this is the monkey's paw, Dominic. BioWare made Mass Effect 2, and ever since, they've fallen apart.
Yeah, they have. God damn it. All right. So that's it for the BAFTA, the formerly known as the BAFTA. So we have the Czech Game of the Year Awards. The Czechs, man, they play games too. All right.
Czech Republic doesn't count.
You know what? You know what's funny? They their Game of the Year. I think this is suspicious. The Game of the Year for 2010. Don't only started in 2010. And the Game of the Year was
Republic didn't exist until then. Actually, I don't know if it did.
Mafia 2.
Interesting.
Guess what the developer was for Mafia 2? 2K Czech.
No. Interesting.
Let's see. Or maybe they just maybe
all these
just
games
are
did
Czech
localization,
games.
or if they actually.
You know what?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if it's just like Czech developed games.
You know what? I'm looking at all these games. They could be all Czech development games. Maybe they are. Because I'm looking at all these game of the years. I'm a lot of some of them I don't even heard of. That's the 2010 is the one that I really heard of. And Arma.
Yeah. If that's the case, I did not know Beat Saber was a Czechoslovakian game. Or Czech Republic game, whatever it's going by now.
Or maybe they had no Czech games and they say, okay, we gotta pick another one.
All these names look very Czechoslovakian, so
they do.
It's very possible.
All right, so now we got Dice Awards, baby.
Now
the Dice Awards. So in the year 2000, their game of the year was Diablo 2. Yeah,
that seems about right.
That. Yeah. And in the year 2010, the game of the year was the greatest game of all time, Mass Effect 2.
I feel like we're going to see a pretty solid run for Mass Effect 2 here.
This is a great year, Daniel. 2010 was a great year.
It's a great year for Mass Effect games.
Electronic Gaming Awards, formerly Arcade Awards. No point in doing them because they stopped doing their awards in 1993. Which they gave it to two games, Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Mortal Kombat, so I guess they couldn't decide.
Yeah.
For the arcade anyway. And
gave it to Aladdin for console.
Aladdin for the console. Aladdin,
except the Genesis version.
And Sonic Spinball.
And that's why they're out of business, Dominic.
And look at Super Nintendo. Bubsy Bobcat.
Yeah, that's a rough choice.
And Rock and Roll Racing. Who the fuck were these guys? That's why they went. Yeah, you're right, Daniel. This is why they went out of business. They said, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna pick the first games I see."
Oh wait, Dominic. The 1992 and 93 issues asked their readers to vote for the game of the year. So does that mean terrible people chose these games?
No,
that just means their audience was terrible.
No. You know what it means, Daniel? I don't think these games are horrible, Daniel. Because I like Bubsy as a kid. And when everybody kept saying how Bubsy sucked, I think you are the minorities. You are the minorities. And we like that game.
Oh, you mean Game of the Year, Bubsy the Bobcat?
Yes. I play the Sega Genesis version of that. I like Bubsy. I like the first Bubsy. I never hated it. I mean, I was a kid. I liked a lot of things too.
I was gonna say, I'm sure at the time, I would have probably very much enjoyed Bubsy the Bobcat. I very much enjoyed a lot of games that were that exact game, except they had a different licensed character on them, like Taz or Looney Tunes or whatever. All
right, so now we're going to go to the Game Awards, formerly known as the Spike TV Awards. This is the Jeff Keighley Awards, as we should like to say.
The Keighley's.
Yes, the Keighley's. Okay, so they weren't there in 2000. They didn't start to 2003 when they started using fan votes, but then they stopped that because they realized fans were just going to vote for sports games. Because Madden NFL 2004 won. So, and you had not seen a sports game win Game of the Year since. So we're going to start with 2010, and we got Red Dead Redemption.
Okay, yeah, that's a strong competition for Mass Effect here.
Yeah, it was. That was a good year. 2010 was a good year. That was a good year. Just like 2020, a good year. All right.
Absolutely. For video games only.
And they closed out with the greatest. With Cyberpunk 2077 on the consoles, the original consoles, the best game, the best version,
the best version of the best game.
All right, so now we're going to the Game Developer Choice Awards, and they started in 2000, so we can start with that. The Sims.
I could see that.
I could definitely see that. Definitely see that. I know
my
friend would agree with that.
Revolutionized a lot of things. Revolutionized.
He was a big Sims fan. He liked the Sims. He thought it was a great thing. You just playing God. In 2010, they voted for Red Dead Redemption. So I think we're going to see a lot of competition, Dan, between Red Dead Redemption and Mass Effect. And that's tough for me. I mean, even though I personally would put Mass Effect first, but shucks, Red Dead Redemption is dear to my heart also.
Yeah.
Very dear to my heart. My second love. All right, so sorry.
Your second heart.
Golden Joystick Awards. And let's go to their, some years they don't have 2000. I guess they had to take a break for reasons. They stopped at 96, 97. Then they went to 2002. So we're going to go down to the 2010, which they gave it to Mass Effect 2.
All right.
So they gave it to Mass Effect 2. So Mass Effect 2 got another one. Let's go to the Japan Awards, which started in 1996. So they were formerly the CESA Awards, wherever that stands for. All right. So Central European, Space Asian. Okay, let's go.
I guess.
All right, 2000. They gave it to Phantasy Star Online.
There you go.
Came up to, well, you know what? Maybe it came to the U.S. No, it came in Japan at the end of the year. But they got it. Phantasy Star Online got it.
They know what they saw and liked.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no. I mean, I don't know when they actually gave the award, because they probably gave the award maybe in 2001 and did it for 2000.
And CESA is Computer Entertainment Suppliers Association.
Oh, okay. Well, they were formerly known as that. They changed it to Japan.
Yes.
All right, so
now they only care about Japan.
Also, in 2010, they gave it to. Now, let me make sure, because I remember last year, Daniel, some awards that had to fix because it was the year they gave the award in some places, and not the year that the game came out. So I have to make sure I'm right. New Super Mario Brothers Wii won. Did that come out in 2010?
That came out in 2009. December of 2009 for Japan.
Okay,
also North America, but it actually came out earlier in North America than it did in Japan. It came out in November of 2009. That's odd.
So I guess Monster Hunter Portable 3rd is technically the game of the year for 2010. When did that come out? I feel like
they're showing some bias here.
I think it is just the Japanese games.
Yeah, that came out Japan 2010. They might just do it like the Keeleys, where there's like a cutoff.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they might do that.
Because both of these games came out in very late of the previous year.
So it might be... Okay, I got you. So it might be just
like an Oscars type thing or something like that.
Okay, so New Super Mario Brothers Wii. I say they got it. It got the cutoff.
Yeah. Still wrong, but still made the cut.
All right, this is the SXSW. What's that stand for again?
South by Southwest.
The South by Southwest Game Awards. They didn't start doing Game Awards until 2013, and their first one was The Last of Us. So, yeah, I have... we're not going to get there until another 3 years, man.
This is bandwagon jumpers right here, Dominic. Look at that list. That's ridiculous. Only the top games.
All right, so now we have the Video Software Dealers Association had their Game Awards. They stopped in 2001, so we got 2 more years to do this.
Yep.
What we could do, just do 25 years, since I do sometimes do that on video games. Donkey Kong Country was Game of the Year 25 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, and I
Seems
think
appropriate.
I think exactly. And in 2000, Pokemon Stadium. I don't know about that.
Less appropriate.
Definitely less appropriate. Like, what the hell? What the hell were they thinking? All right. So now we are going to... This is Publications and Media. So here we go. Ars Technica. So, Ars Technica. You go to that website sometimes, right?
Yeah. From time to time, they have very, serious businessy video game takes.
Unfortunately, we can't do none of theirs because they didn't start doing their Game of the Year awards in 2012. So we have to skip them. So we're going to
2020, Dominic, they've got Hades. Spoilers.
Oh, nice. Yeah, spoilers.
They've already issued theirs.
Spoilers, Daddy Dan. All right. Destructoid. They started in 2007, so we can do 2010. And they gave Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Now we're talking.
People really love that game. They really like it because Yoshi.
So good it can make the collection.
Exactly. What? Fucking Nintendo. They're gonna sell that game by itself for $50 or something.
Eventually,
like that.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got here, Dan? We got Easy Allies, formerly game trailers. Oh, yes, those guys. So it was still game trailers.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have 2000, but they had 2010, Mass Effect 1. Then you have Edge. You know Edge magazine. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a 2000. They had a 1998.
They retroactively went back and said Ocarina of Time was the game of the year that year.
Yeah. So they have a 1998, but they skipped a couple years. I guess some things must have happened.
Hard times.
Had to get their lives together.
Hard times.
And they came back 2002, but we're going to go to 2010, and they gave it to Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm honestly a little surprised Mario Galaxy's getting as much love in these so far as it is.
I mean, I always heard from people how it was great, so maybe they just saw like, look, man, this game is so good. I like it better than Red Dead and Mass Effect. All right.
It's just the year of heavy hitters, Dominic.
Yeah. Electronic Gaming Monthly, EGM. Here we are in 2000. They gave it to, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Hell yeah.
Because I saw Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on 2001 in some people's lists. It's probably, like you said, a cutoff.
Yeah.
Maybe they got it late. In 2010, they gave it to Red Dead Redemption.
Checks out.
Empire. I don't know Empire, but Empire is fairly new. They only started in 2014, so we might have to talk about them. Entertainment Weekly. They started doing Game Awards in 2007. So let's go to 2010. They gave it to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Entertainment Weekly. Empire is kind of like Entertainment Weekly, I think. I've seen them before. They're a British magazine, though.
Oh, okay.
But they do film stuff. It's usually not video games. So.
But I guess it's all the money. They're going with the money, yes, Daniel.
Exactly.
Eurogamer. Eurogamer started in 1999, so in 2000, they gave it to Deus Ex. Okay.
Sounds right.
And then 2010, Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mass Effect is winning the race here.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, Famitsu. Yes, I always heard about them. I don't know why I don't have all of them. They have a 1990 and they skipped to 2004. Some must have happened. But we're going to go to 2010. They gave it to Monster Hunter Portable Third. I know it's Japanese people. They like that Monster Hunter. So it was like they don't really care for our American Mass Effects and Red Dead Redemptions.
Yeah, but they're another one with weird dates because like Dragon Quest that they had the year before came out in 2009 in Japan, but it came out in 2010 in America. I guess 2009 makes sense. Yeah.
But I guess they want to give it to Mario. I guess they didn't give it to Mario. They say Monster Hunter. No, Monster Hunter is awesome. I mean, people do like this game. People, they love Monster Hunter the Third. Yeah. All right, Game Informer. We know Game Informer. They're hanging around. They're hanging around
for now.
Yeah. Well, I know they got more people. You know, they got new people hired there. So,
which scares me.
2000. They gave it to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Then the previous year they gave it to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. so keeping it consistent.
Rack them out.
Keeping it consistent.
Tony Hawk was paying them off in 900s or something.
Well, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 was their first. They had to give it a game of the year. That was the first game they ever gave a 10 to, a perfect score.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They never gave that score to any other game before that. Really? Now they're giving 10s like fucking candy. Like, hey,
they give Ocarina of Time a 9? You trying to tell me Ocarina of Time and the one that came out this year, that Immortals, is the same game, Dominic? How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, that's how that works. All right, 2010, they gave it to Red Dead Redemption. They gave it to Red Dead Redemption. I think I had this magazine when I saw that. GameSpot. All right, so 2000, GameSpot, they separate theirs. Very smart of them, very smart. To console and PC. Console, they gave it to Chrono Cross. Wow, I mean, I like Chrono Cross, but I don't know if that was be game of the year.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that one.
I mean, I like the first half of Chrono Cross. Like, that's where it is. Mm-hmm. PC, they gave The Sims. Yes, I can definitely concede that. I guess they stopped doing it, and then eventually they start saying, hey, all these things are all everywhere, so we're going to stop just separating them.
It's too much work to come up with. So the 2010 is given
to Red Dead Redemption. What were you saying, Dan? I was talking.
Oh, I was just saying it's too hard to come up with two.
Yeah, it's Games Radar. They got, my phone doing some stuff. They started in 2006, so we're not going to get 2000. We are going to get 2010, which they got Red Dead Redemption, man. Red Dead Redemption's trying to come up, man. They're trying to come after a giant bomb. You know, they gave it a Mass Effect 2. Wow.
I'm a little surprised by that because I feel like I remember those discussions in Mass Effect 2 being like, maybe, maybe not.
But I think
there are some people there that love Mass Effect
fighting.
2. Yeah.
Some people just give up fighting. It's like, it's not worth it.
Exactly.
All right, Hardcore Gamer. Daniel, Hardcore Gamer. But they only started in 2012. So there was no such thing as Hardcore Gamers before 2012, people. So we will have to come back to them in 2 years. All right, IGN. They didn't have. They went around 2000. Okay.
That seems crazy to me.
Well, they didn't do a Game of the Year in 2000, I should say.
Trying to think what year I was on their forums all the time.
So we're going to go down to 2010 and Mass Effect 2. Yeah, I think Mass Effect 2 is going to take it. They're going to take it. Polygon. Yeah, well, we already know they didn't exist yet. They didn't exist until 2012, so we come back to them. Time Magazine said, we got to start doing some Game of the Year. People like these video games. They started in 2006, and we're going to go down to 2010. They gave it to Alan Wake.
The distinguished man's game, Dominic.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's because he was a writer.
So, yes, Alan Wake won. All right, so U.S. Gamer. There were no such thing as U.S. Gamers until 2015 also, people. Nope. So, you were not gaming in the U.S. before 2015. It was all a lie, if you think so. We go to Yahoo. Yahoo doing the Game Awards. And apparently they stopped, too, because at 2017, I don't see nothing. So they went from 2007 to 2017. They're there for 10 years, Daniel. 10 strong years, Yahoo Games.
Legacy.
But 2010, they gave it to Red Dead Redemption. So it looks like it's Mass Effect, Red Dead Redemption, Super Mario Galaxy 2, and Monster Hunter Portable for the 2010s. And it looks like the 2000s, what I see, Deus Ex.
Yeah, Deus Ex, The Sims, Tony Hawk to a lesser extent. Donkey Kong.
Medieval one time.
Medieval 2. So weird.
Diablo 2 got one award for 2000.
That's a little crazy.
Weird. That was the DICE Awards.
Yeah.
But you know what? That was a cutoff because The Sims was actually in 1999 they won in the DICE Awards.
Man.
So it was like one of those cutoff year kind of things going on here. Because I'm trying to look for Diablo 2, but I still don't see it in no other time. So some people, The Sims, they put The Sims on a list. It just be out Diablo 2, even though they probably didn't come out at the same time. Let me look and see when Diablo 2 came out officially. It did come out 2000, and The Sims came out. The Sims did come out 2000 in the U.S. So how the fuck did they get a 1999 DICE Award? They got the preview build?
Very possible.
Yeah, that's weird.
Did it come out like in Europe or something maybe earlier?
I'm looking on, based on Wikipedia, but you know Wikipedia could make mistakes. Yeah, I'm trying to look for other 2000s. It looked like 2000, Fantasy Star Online won the Japan Award, I remember. But you know, a lot of these places, these guys, they didn't even exist. Tony Hawk 2 won some. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag for 2000. Yeah. But I think, the games that got chosen, most of them are pretty legit. Like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, and Diablo 2, and The Sims. I think that's like probably the games of those years. But yeah, that's the list of the games of the years past. Then we're going to talk about the games of the year for 2020 sometime next year and get our shitty Game of the Year awards ready. I'll see when. Because first I was thinking about I thought we had to do it today. So, shit, I ain't doing that stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do it today. Because I didn't even do my fake vote yet. My fake vote's on the games yet. Damn. All right, so I guess we take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get into the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic, it being Christmas week, there's not a ton of new news coming out here, but there are quite a few updates to some games this week that are notable. The first off is Flight Simulator for the PC has gotten an update that now allows it to support VR headsets. So like the HTC Vive, Oculus, all the Windows mixed reality headsets. That seems like that would be a really cool way to experience that game, especially if you're someone that gets into it and has like the throttles and the flight sticks and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
So I see a lot more. Sound fun. Yeah, I see a lot more people doing those. You know how they'll do those like race car rigs sometimes? It'll just be like basically a cockpit built out of some pipe or something with a seat in there, and then you have your racing wheel. I see a lot more people using VR headsets now instead of having like the 3 monitors or whatever they would have. And that seems like a really cool way to do that because like your hands are mostly on the wheel anyway. You can kind of feel, and I'm sure after a while you get like a natural sense of where the shifter is, or you build it to match the car in the game. So when you're looking at it, you can see it. And then you have that whole like immersion. You don't have like a break in the monitors or whatever, the edges where they meet and whatnot. So and you can, turn around and check your mirrors and stuff. That was always something I thought was cool for Forza when they introduced like the Kinect support and you could look around. That never really worked that way, but the idea of it was pretty cool. So I'm sure people who are super into Flight Simulator could be excited about this update.
They need to do some more scenarios. What's the guy name who saved the plane?
Oh, Sully.
They should do a Sully scenario. Like
that would actually be really cool if they did missions. Yeah,
I ain't gonna say like crash into the building kind of scenario. No.
Thank you for not saying that, Dominic.
But I'm saying something like that, or like, oh no, you don't hate that place where the geese came and messed up the engines. Like, get away from those birds. Yeah,
you gotta land in the Hudson, or even if they did something like, okay, your tire is blown out, how do you land this plane or something? I think that would be really cool if they had just like you said, not even necessarily missions, but like scenarios where it's just like, okay, this is what's going to be different about this flight, as opposed to just go from here to there. Because shit goes bad in real life, Dominic. That's simulation for you.
Exactly. Or like an alien comes or something like that. And does some things.
You know what? I'm all for that. Just go like the Forza route where it's like, we're taking this very seriously, but then like throw in some Legos because it would be fun as hell. Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, that's what would interest me more if they had like more single playery content kind of stuff. More directive narrative stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Dominic. Another one getting a huge update on the PC is Stardew Valley. They're adding another entire island, Ginger Island, and it's going to have
Ginger Island.
Yep.
all the
gingers go to the beach.
So you see all these redheads.
So much sunscreen. It's always sold out on that island. It's going to have lots more endgame content. There's a whole bunch of new enemies that they listed off in the change logs. There's going to be a new NPC, Leo. So you're going to be able to interact with him. He's got a whole bunch
Leo.
of stuff.
All right.
I'm sure. It's also adding local multiplayer. So if that's a thing that you're looking for, you can try that out. And a new farm animal, the ostrich, Dominic. So you can finally make Neverland Ranch in Stardew Valley. I don't even know if an ostrich is something Michael Jackson had. Is that
okay? When does this update come out?
I think it's out now. Let me check that.
Yeah, I might get on Stardew Valley, man. Get lost in the sauce, man. Get lost in that world again.
Yeah, it's out now. They're calling it the 1.5 update.
Yeah, I'll wait though. I'll wait a bit.
Yeah, they're saying PC right now, consoles will be available early next year, and mobile should follow later, but there isn't a timeline yet for that. So this is coming to the consoles as well, which is nice.
I forgot this was on phones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the iPad and stuff. Yep. It's an incredible what, basically one man has done with this game. And he seemingly has been rewarded for it with all the sales we see. So, congratulations.
I don't think it's one man. I think that's a lie. I think he has like the story of the shoe salesman, the guy who had the little
elf cobblers
built in the shoes or something like that.
Except in this case, they're children from somewhere. Just labor, basically. All right, Dominic. In some other news, another kind of update situation. We're no longer in the Marvel time frame for the Fortnite stuff, but this season is kind of a mismatch of all sorts of things, and now they've added Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and the Taskmaster as skins through the Royalty and Warriors pack for $25. And if you complete the Wakanda Forever missions during this season, which ends March 16th, you also get the Wakandan Salute emote, which is the Wakanda Forever cross arms, cross chest situation.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, they, as always, like I love the way things look in Fortnite, and I think they did a really good job of designing Black Panther and Captain Marvel and Taskmaster to fit that world. Kind of reminds me in a lot of ways of the Disney Infinity characters. You know,
what is the Wakanda Forever mission? Like, what do you do?
Let's find out. It's probably like shoot 20 people in the head or something. That's it. So that's the funny thing, right? Is like,
oh my god.
I guess, I think about it and I'm like, oh, cool, Black Panther is in the game. But then I have to think about it and it's like, yeah, but it's Black Panther just carrying around a gun. That seems so weird.
Yeah, because you remember it's so primitive. It's so primitive. You remember that in the movie, even though it's actually not. But it's funny.
For his world, it is, Dominic, because they're
for his world, it's
so advanced.
But that's why, like you said, it looks funny him holding a gun. Then
and the same with Captain Marvel. Taskmaster obviously makes sense, but it seems weird. Let's see. I wonder if there's a good place. Here we go. Comic books.
Yeah, they should have Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse should be in there. He's like, like it'll look like the Mickey Mouse, from Disney World, the tall Mickey Mouse, because he can't be short. And so it'd be him just shooting, holding a gun too.
I wonder if there's like a really good like Fortnite resource page, like Fortnite.net or something, where it tells you all of like what missions and stuffs are. Let's see.
I didn't know they had missions. I was like, what?
Yeah, I've known they have like what are they? Basically like achievements or whatever, like kill like certain matches or whatever.
Well, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yeah,
is that what
the Black
are?
Panther quests are play 10 matches, outlast 500 opponents, and play duo or squad matches 5 times.
Oh, so that's
actually
okay. So missions. So missions are okay. All right.
Yeah,
so I'm thinking
not,
it's actually
like
scenarios or something like that.
Like, yeah, unfortunately not.
You gotta go save Wakanda.
Exactly. Wakanda map would be pretty cool. And I do like the design that they use for him too, because it has the cape like in some of the comics, like when he's like sitting on the throne and stuff. He's got that situation going on. But the armor looks very much like the movies. So, yeah, looks good. Fortnite continuing to dominate everything, Dominic. In some other news, we got the Silent Hill creator Keiichiro Tayama. I practiced reading that numerous times before we started recording this, and still struggle with it. Just looking at it.
You did very well. You did very well.
Thank you. He's working under Boken Games. That's a new studio working on a new horror game coming out in 2023. He said, if anything, this would be more of a horror-oriented game, but we will focus on making this a broader entertainment experience rather than a hardcore horror game.
What does that mean?
So what do you think? It means, hopefully, Resident Evil 4. That's what I hope for, Dominic. Give me a little action, give me a little scares.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll say. I mean, now we of course have the example of like the 2 and 3 remakes where it's a little more horror focused, less actiony than 4 was, but also feels good as a game and isn't just kind of a terrible thing.
It just revs up the action at the end.
Yeah. So what do you think, Dominic? Silent Hill as a series, is it something that, I mean, I know you have your issues with scary games, but like, is that something you have any reverence for? Is there any connection with that the same way you do
want it to
like
exist.
Resident Evil? Okay.
I mean, yeah, I don't want it just not to exist.
Yeah.
I want it to be a thing to happen. So,
which doesn't seem to be the case right now with Konami.
Yeah, so I mean, so for him to do that, I mean, yeah, I think that's nice. Because I don't mind watching them like on Halloween, watching Markiplier, play the game. Yeah.
I get you. Yeah, it's weird that, PT came out and kind of got people really excited. I mean, that, despite how frightening that game is, and it's creepy as hell, but it was such a cool experience, and the idea of that's what we were getting out of the next Silent Hill thing, and then just everything falling apart with that relationship between Konami and Kojima, and seemingly
I just think but
Guillermo
why
del
it had to
Toro.
be Kojima? Because Silent Hill wasn't Kojima.
Yeah, it never was. So like, why are we still not getting anything from Silent Hill? Because like, the creator didn't seem like, based on looking at his wiki page earlier, like he hasn't really been involved in any of the games since, really. So it's not that he's gone either, that we're not getting a new Silent Hill game. It's just like Konami not really wanting to make games anymore, I guess. I don't know. Like at a certain point I would really like, and I don't know. I want somebody else. I don't want to say like I want Microsoft to pick them up, although that would probably be the way I would lean with it. But like, somebody pick up Konami's games division, let them run their gyms or casinos or whatever the hell else they do. Let them license out the properties so they can still make Castlevania Pachinko or whatever. But get people who actually want to make these games and let them use the licenses. Because like, obviously there's a certain point where like you're seeing it here with a guy who's making basically a spiritual successor to Silent Hill. It sounds like you're seeing it with Dead Space. Like that guy is making the spiritual successor to Dead Space because he can no longer make a Dead Space game. Like, let's just match these guys back up with their properties, please. And just let them do that thing. Otherwise, just tell them to stop making games like that because, we don't need 50 million of the same type of game just under a different title because you can't use the same title.
Yeah.
Give me some creativity. Not to say that they aren't, but you know what I'm trying to get at here. So yeah. And then the other one I got this week, Dominic, I think it might have came out last week, but we didn't talk about it. I left it off my list. Xbox Game Pass. It's been officially announced that it is going to be coming finally to the PC for streaming, the streaming aspect of it, what was previously called Project xCloud.
This is what I wanted.
PC and also iPhone in spring of 2021. So yeah, I am right there with you because the idea of not having to install something on my computer to just even try it out a little bit first.
Exactly.
It's great. I want it. I love that. That's what they should be doing.
That's really is just the space on my PC.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, I can just stream it. The only downside is I can't use my cheats. But
that's why once you realize you like the game, you download it and then you use your cheats on it.
Yeah, but I mean that's not. That's just my problem.
Yeah.
It's not really a big problem because I still play games on Xbox. And I can't even cheat on. But it's. Yeah, it's just saving space, like streaming these games. Like, yes, I'm able to stream them, play them, and don't have to have it installed. And it's running. It's probably maybe like some of these later games probably won't look as good on my older PC as it will. And that's what I'm curious about with the streaming. It is streaming from a console, right?
I think it depends on the game.
Yeah, I guess. That's the thing. It depends on the game. Because I wonder, like,
because they're all running basically off their
Gears,
servers.
Is servers streaming from Gears from the Xbox One X or something, or is that like the PC? I'm playing the PC. Like,
what is it actually emulating to send you that information? I mean, that's what I've always wondered because, like, basically when we're talking about Stadia, like, those racks should be filled with like top of the end things that can emulate, a 3090 and this, that, and the other, a i9 30, whatever, 9700K with a 3090 NVIDIA processor. Like I should be able to get the best experience, especially if I'm paying, right? Yeah. So I wonder what they're like. These are the specs. This is the equivalent spec. I would like to see companies start to make that more transparent. Like, this is the experience you should expect to see from this, because them throwing out numbers like 4K and HDR and stuff like that, like, in reality, that doesn't mean a lot. That gives you kind of an indication of where we are, but then you put in things like bitrate and also just like texture quality and quality, all the quality settings that you're going to get out of a PC release, right? Like, which of these are turned on and which of these are turned off in the version that I'm going to be playing through your system. So, yeah, I'm excited for it to come to PC.
Yeah, I'm definitely am. And I wonder, because also that'll be EA Play you could stream, right?
It should, yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, because they're already, I don't think it's available yet, right? The EA Play stuff on the PC, but I believe they've said that it's coming sometime next year. Yeah.
So, this is some questions, but I am excited. It's exciting times.
Yeah. And we've talked about it before, but I really wish they would implement something like demos for basically every game through this service, so that you can, because you can just hard lock the time, encode a time limit into the stream, so you don't have developers having to create a whole new instance and a segmented piece that players can deal with. It's just like, look, this is the full game. You can do whatever you want in the next 20 to 30 minutes, right? And then, you've gotten your taste of the game, and now here you go. You can pay right now, and we'll give you access to the full thing, and you can continue to stream it, or you can download it, or you can download it in the background while you're streaming it. I don't recommend that, because your game might not look as good because you're using data, but whatever. Just like, give us a lot more options here, because like the ability for this to be extremely consumer friendly is very promising. And of course, we are lucky enough to live in a relatively metropolitan area where we have decent internet connections. And I know there are some people that are not so lucky in the middle of the country, and this is not as exciting for them, but that just says to me that we need to get those places up to speed here. You have Definitely. Google Fiber in like Kansas City, Missouri and shit. Like, expand that out from there. Like, you can start in these bigger cities in the Midwest, in the middle of the country, and then expand it out to the more rural areas. And I think everybody's kind of just hoping that 5G is going to be a thing that catches on, but like, all the talk of 5G just doesn't sound like it's really going to do that much to improve things at all, because there are going to be limitations such as like penetration, building penetration, and things like that for these higher density signals. So I don't know. I know it's harder to lay groundwork and infrastructure for all this internet stuff. And then of course you have really shitty cities where it's like, oh, the cable companies have it locked down and you literally can't do it yourself. I mean, those are the ones that drive me crazy, right? Or where like the city themselves want to install this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think even Baltimore for a while was saying like, hey, we want you to bring Google Fiber here. We'll lay down all the stuff. And then it's like, oh, no. Verizon and Comcast have all the channels locked down, so you can't dig and install cable or something like that. It's absurd.
It is, because I think like where my friend lives at in Baltimore, like, it's been years and he can't get files. He can't get Verizon. The only thing he can get is Comcast in his area.
Yeah.
And he keeps getting letters and stuff to say like, hey, file, like some things say, hey, get files. And then he's like, why are you
just rubbing it in his face? That's rude. Like, I would if I could, you fucks.
Yeah. And that's what I think it's like, it's got to be politics behind this stuff, because it's like, how is Comcast, like, for how many years Verizon's been around, how they still have that area in Baltimore around Park Heights just locked down?
Mm.
And, like, that you can't, I mean, there's got to be something against that. Like, they can't monopolize this. They monopolizing this shit. Like, in that area where people don't have a choice.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you see stuff like that with the car companies, too. Like, there are some states where you literally can't buy a Tesla directly from Tesla because you have to buy things through a dealership, and Tesla doesn't officially own dealerships, so you can't, like, it's so weird. You have to order it online and then have it delivered some way. I forget. But yeah, it's like all because of like some weird like union rules back in the day where we're trying to protect dealerships from car companies. And now it's kind of the other way around. We're trying to protect consumers from dealerships, trying to get their markup on stuff. So I don't know, Dominic. Politics is a messy, messy place. All right. Did you see any other news before we get into the games for gold we got so far for the beginning of the year?
Man. I think we're good, man. We can go right into it.
All right. Well, we don't have PlayStation Plus games yet for January 2021, but we do have the Xbox games for gold, and they are Little Nightmares for the Xbox One, Dead Rising, the remastered edition for Xbox One, which you and I were talking, we didn't even know really existed. Or, you know, I'm sure we had talked about it previously, but completely forgot about. And then King of Fighters 13 for the 360 and Breakdown for the Xbox. Are you familiar with Breakdown, Dominic?
I am not familiar with Breakdown.
I wonder what reviews are like for that, because otherwise it feels like maybe they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah. Oh, well, this isn't really news, but I did see this. Like, Halo Infinite Xbox One version is not canceled. I guess people are saying, like, they should... There's some people who think they should cancel it because what happened with Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, I had intended to put that on the list of things. Yeah, because there were some rumors that potentially that was happening because of the Cyberpunk thing, basically, is like, oh, they've moved on to only working on a next generation Xbox One because they don't want to put the effort into, you know, the last gen and then having it release really shitty. So yeah, there was the community manager, I think, came out and said, oh no, we're still working on it. Now, as quickly as things change over there, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if in a couple of months they were like, we had to abandon that because it didn't go well. But yeah, I wanted to put this on here to get your opinion, Dominic. What would your feeling be if they did come out and say, in an effort to make this a more next gen experience, we had to eliminate working on the old generation? Would that just motivate you to buy a console faster? Would that kind of burn you a little bit and make you a little less?
It would burn me a little bit, but
yeah.
I mean, my intention is to get the consoles at some time, but I don't have a date or anything. But yeah, it would sort of burn me because that means there will be less people I know who I can play it with if I even do get it. Because I don't know when my friends are going to get one. I think they have intentions. At least one of my friends definitely have intentions of getting one next year. Yeah. Because he wants to play that new NBA 2K. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, because I just think it can work on the current gen. It's like, dude, what are y'all having? Like, what is the issue? I mean, with Cyberpunk, I don't know what the hell they did. I honestly don't know.
I feel like it's just like an issue of prioritizing and then going, okay, you know, we're gonna aim for this high end PC, and then we're gonna work on things lower than that, and then by the time it gets down to the power level of like an Xbox or a PS4, it's like, let's throw Dave from accounting on that. Maybe he can finish this up, but we don't have anybody else to work with.
Yeah, I think the Xbox probably has more control because I think they know that they're gonna have to. because this was intended to come out this year. So I don't know. I think they will. I think they will stay, and I think they should stay up here on this one. If they don't, I mean, I think it is a problem, but I don't think it'll be that huge of a deal,
right?
But because it's not coming until next year. But I don't know. I just feel like it should be that much of a problem to put on a current gen. Really. All
right, Dominic.
We got new releases?
We got 2 new releases here, and I just want to say last week, you had mentioned Scourgebringer having come out previously. That's because the list I was using was completely inaccurate and from October, outside of Super Meat Boy Forever, which was a thing that came out last week. I think most of the other games that I had listed were ones that had previously come out 2 months ago. So that was my bad. But this week we do have Double Dragon Neon for the Nintendo Switch and Super Meat Boy Forever for the PC and the Nintendo Switch. Okay. So those 2 are out now. I know
Double Dragon Neon, man, because that came out on the 360, and you can play it backwards compatible on the current Xbox. I don't know if you can play it on the PS4 though.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
So
yeah, maybe you can't unless they put another version out. You have to buy it.
Yeah. Double Dragon PS4. No, but you can play it on the Xbox Series X through emulation, Dominic. I kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Super Meat Boy Forever.
We never really got into that, did we? That the Xbox Series X is out there as like secretly the top emulation machine now because it can run up the.
Nah, we never talked about it on the podcast.
PlayStation 2 games. It's wild.
Yeah. That's awesome. All
so
right.
they need to get their shit together so you can play their games there. But yeah, Super Meat Boy, I've been seeing a lot.
Did you complete the first one?
No. I was talking to a guy at work the other day about it. Like, it's such a good game, but like even the first boss in that game, I don't think I ever really got past him because the action is so intense. That's something maybe I need to charge my Vita back up and get back into, because that's a great place to play that game, just like Spelunky, something that's portable. I can just turn on real quick, play it a couple of times. I mean, that's the thing about Super Meat Boy, is just your ability to snap and be right back at the beginning of the level again to try again. Like, there is no load time whatsoever. It's instantaneous. So even when you're just banging your head up against the wall, it's like, okay, I'll give it one more shot. Okay, I didn't make it as far as I did last time, so I'm going to give it one more shot. Okay, I almost made it this time, so I'm going to give it one more shot, and just doing that loop over and over again. So, yeah, I haven't really seen too much about Super Meat Boy Forever just yet, but it has my interest. It's not something I'm going to go seek out, but if it ends up on Game Pass, I would love to play it.
All right.
All right, Dominic, you got anything else for the week?
Nah, man, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, first off, we wish everybody a Happy New Year, because the next time we talk to you guys, it will be next year, which is weird.
Happy New Year. New 2021. We're hoping that is a lot better than 2020, man.
Yeah, here's the hoping. So, yeah, thank you guys as always for listening. It's another year in the books, Dominic. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at Dino Man, or not Dino Mans. I'm falling back into the old routine, Dominic, at D Stallworth5. You can also check him out at Dino Mans. You can check me out at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. It's got all the previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Also, all of the podcasts are going up on YouTube now, accompanied with some gameplay from games Dominic or I have been playing that week. So you can check those out. Throw us a like, a subscribe, all those things that they say on YouTube. Smash that like button, Dominic. Just bash it. And until next year, guys, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see ya.